Hey, family and friends, this is Pastor Sam Kang with Reconcile Church. I want to take an opportunity today to be able to address the coronavirus and Reconcile Church's response to that. And so first, concerning our Sunday services, our gatherings, and our regular community groups, we do recognize that this is a global pandemic and that it has arrived to Metro Atlanta, and before it gets better, it's probably going to get worse. And so for us in here, we want to use wisdom. We want to use precaution in this, as well as we want to be able to step forward without fear, though. Or when we do experience fear, take that fear to God. And so at this current moment, we are still going to have our Sunday service gathering over at Duluth Middle School in the morning until further notice. We are tied in intimately with the public school system here in Gwinnett. And so we will let you know. But if you are sick, if you're experiencing sickness, if you've been around sick folk, if you are immunocompromised or just not comfortable at all coming out at this current moment, I want to give you the freedom to go ahead and stay at home. Go ahead and spend time, if you have a family, to be able to spend time with family, talking about God, even going through our current series on Jonah, listening to Jonah's sermon, and engaging in a little bit more on what it means to be compassionate like God is compassionate to us. Coupled with that is hopefully we'll have all of our services on Facebook Live that we recorded and or on a podcast for you to be able to listen to. So please make meaningful, intentional engagement at that time on Sunday mornings with each other. If you do not have a family, please call a friend, call one of our friends with Reconcile and be able to engage in more at the time, pray for each other, read scriptures together, drive closer to the heart of God in this. And so that's the first thing with community groups. Please use wisdom, whether or not you should gather at this time. Perhaps for a season you should suspend in the midst of this pandemic to be able to love each other well. And so consider those things. But the last thing I want you to consider is to love your neighbor. The Bible tells us, and God tells us very specifically, to love him with all that we've got. But then the second commandment is like it, to love our neighbor as ourselves. And those are the two greatest commandments. They're tied in together. So what does it look like for us to love our neighbors as ourselves in the midst of all of this? Well, here's some ideas. What would it look like for you to go and take a meal to an elderly neighbor who's afraid to leave their house right now, and to be able to love them, to send them notes of encouragement, to continue to check up on them, to help them out at this time? What would it look like for us to give gift cards and to send notes and text messages to our friends in the medical field who are exhausted and will be even more exhausted in this time, to love them, to care for them, to support them? What would it look like for us to be able to lean into our immunocompromised friends and neighbors, ask them ways that we can help them, go grocery shopping for them, leave them groceries at the door, spend time talking with them? What are those tangible ways that we can be the hands and feet of Christ to this world? I was encouraged by a post I saw on Facebook from Scott Sauls where it talked about, yes, wash our hands. Use that wisdom, wash our hands, but then also seek to wash other people's feet. As Jesus has gone to wash his disciples' feet, that we might go and do the same and likewise to others. What would it look like for us to go forward to using what God has given us, to loving our neighbors, loving our friends around us who right now are dealing with this crazy fear of the uncertain, the unknown, and we can be able to offer to them God, a God who's in control, a God where we place our hope in, a God who is making all things new, that sickness one day will be eradicated because of God. And so may we be those people. May we be people who love our neighbors as ourselves this week and in the coming weeks and months to come. We don't know how long this is going to last, but maybe use this as an opportunity to stand up and to be the body of Christ, to love people well. And so I want to offer that for us today. There are more updates to come. Hopefully there will be opportunities for us to be able to love the community even in a bigger sense in terms of Duluth Middle School and the engagement there if and when the school does close down. And so keep your ears open for that. We love you. We care for you. We're praying for you. Let's all turn and run towards God in this. Love you. Have a great day.